Hey everybody, Chris here from O'Reilly Auto Parts to show you how to replace a power brake booster. If you're noticing that it takes extra pressure on your brake pedal to slow down, you might be dealing with a failing booster. Today I'll be working on this 2008 Dodge Nitro, but the basic procedure will be similar on most vehicles with power brakes. As always, know the specifics for your vehicle before getting started. And if you're not completely comfortable doing this yourself, we'd be happy to recommend a professional technician in your area. Anytime you do work on your brake system, pay attention to how your brakes function before and after the job to make sure the problem has been corrected. Also, be very careful handling brake fluid. It is highly corrosive and will damage any painted surface. Once you've got your supplies together, here's what you'll do. Chock your wheels and set the parking brake. Pop the hood and disconnect the negative battery terminal. Set it aside someplace where it isn't touching metal. You'll need to relieve the vacuum pressure that exists in the system so that you can disconnect the vacuum line and separate the master cylinder from the booster. To do this, pump your brake pedal a few times with the engine off. Once the pedal firms up, you're good to go. Locate your power brake booster, which should be right against the back wall of your engine compartment on the driver's side. Before removing the booster, you'll have to remove the master cylinder, which is directly in front of it. In some vehicles, you can just move the master cylinder to the side. If you are able to move the master cylinder to the side, there's no need to unhook the brake hydraulic lines. And if you don't need to remove the hydraulic brake lines, the job won't take as long because you won't have to bleed the brake system. If you do need to remove the brake lines, leave the master cylinder cap on and remove the master cylinder from the booster. Remove the electrical connector leading to the brake fluid reservoir. This can be done by hand. Remove the clip that secures the connector and push the tab to release it. Unscrew the mounting nuts with your ratchet and socket and use your proper brake line flare wrench to disconnect the brake lines. Put some shop towels in place and hold your fingers over the brake lines as you remove the master cylinder from the vehicle to make sure no brake fluid drips on anything. Once you've removed the master cylinder, set it in your drain pan to allow any remaining fluid to drain. Keep in mind that brake fluid spills will damage painted surfaces, so if this happens, flush it with water immediately. If your vehicle has anti-lock brakes, you'll also want to disconnect the brake line from the hydraulic control unit, or HCU, and remove this component so it's out of the way. Inspect the seal at the end of the master cylinder. There should be no signs of brake fluid seepage. If you see fluid, there is a leak. If this is not corrected, the new booster will be damaged by allowing brake fluid inside the vacuum chamber and deteriorating the vacuum diaphragm. So if the master cylinder seal does show signs of seepage, the master cylinder needs to be replaced. With the master cylinder out of the way, you can turn your attention to the brake booster. Inside the vehicle, tilt your steering wheel up and remove your knee blocker to give you easier access. Your brake pedal attaches to the push rod that leads directly to the booster. Detach the retaining clip that connects the two components. Next, use your socket to loosen the 4 nuts attaching the booster to the engine compartment wall. Back in the engine compartment, disconnect the vacuum hose leading to the booster. Then slide the 4 studs out, tilt the booster up, and carefully remove it. Now you're ready to do everything in reverse. Start by reading the documentation that came with the booster to be aware of all warnings. Then slide your new booster into position and use the 4 studs to secure it to the wall. Back under your dashboard, tighten the nuts and reattach the brake pedal to the push rod. Lubricate the pin with the lubricant recommended by the manufacturer and ensure the retainer safety clip is secure. Replace the knee blocker panel. Clean the mounting surface on the booster thoroughly with a shop towel and brake cleaner before attaching the cylinder. Again, be sure not to get brake cleaner on any painted surfaces. Reinstall the electrical wire leading to the fluid reservoir. Reconnect your negative battery terminal. If you had to disconnect your brake lines, you'll need to bleed your brake system. Now that everything is back together, start your engine and make sure your brake pedal pressure has been corrected by testing your brakes in the driveway before driving on the road. And that's it. You'll find everything that you need for this and other jobs at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com. Our DIY videos are designed to help answer questions we get in our stores every day. If you found this one helpful, subscribe to our channel to get all the latest. We'll see you again soon.